You ever think, if I'm so smart, why can't I just follow through with my plans? You know you've got the potential, but for some reason, consistency is the thing that always trips you up. I get it. You study for hours, you come up with these big ideas, and you know you can do it. But then, when it comes time to actually do the work or hit that deadline, it's like something just gets in the way every time. If this sounds familiar, you're in the right place. In this video, we're diving into why smart people like you and me, struggle so much with consistency and how you can fix it. Let's break it down because it's not about working harder, it's about working smarter. All right, let's be real for a second. When you're smart, things tend to come a little easier, right? You're the kid in school who always seemed to just get it. You didn't have to put in as much effort as others, and things just clicked. You probably felt like you could handle anything life threw at you because, well, you're smart. And that's great, right? It feels like everything should come naturally, and that success should just be a matter of time. But here's the thing. Being smart doesn't automatically make you good at getting things done consistently. In fact, it can sometimes make things harder. The more intelligent you are, the more likely you are to overthink everything. You start questioning your approach, your methods, and sometimes even your entire plan. Instead of jumping into the work and figuring it out as you go, you're stuck in this cycle of trying to perfect every little detail before you even start. I've been there too. I'd sit down with the best intentions to get something done. Maybe it was a project or an essay. But before I could even put pen to paper, my brain would go into overdrive. I'd start asking myself things like, is this the best way to do this? Should I use this source or that one? What if there's a better approach I haven't thought of? It's like my mind was spinning with all these options and possibilities, but I wasn't moving forward at all. And then before I knew it, I was stuck in this mental paralysis, unable to make any real progress. Does that sound familiar? It's a classic trap for intelligent people, and it's a big reason why we struggle with execution. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like your identity is tied to being the smart one? Like maybe you've always been praised for how much you know or how quickly you can figure things out. Over time, you start to believe that your worth, your value, is linked to your intelligence. It's like, the smarter you are, the more you expect from yourself, right? But here's where it gets tricky. When you're used to being the smartest person in the room, there's this constant pressure to keep that image up. You start thinking that everything you do has to be perfect because, well, if you're not perfect, what does that say about your intelligence? And because you don't want to mess that up, you start avoiding tasks altogether. It's like, if I can't do it perfectly, why even bother? And that, my friend, is a trap. The problem with perfection is that it makes the work seem way bigger than it really is. You're so focused on getting everything just right that you're paralyzed before you even start. You might spend hours tweaking something that doesn't really matter, just to make it flawless, instead of doing the work that'll actually move you forward. But here's the kicker. That need for perfection, that constant fear of failing, is exactly what's keeping you stuck. You're avoiding progress because you're afraid of making mistakes. And I'll explain exactly why that's so dangerous in just a minute. So, what can you do about this? Well, the first step is to let go of the idea that you have to be perfect. I know, it's easier said than done, but hear me out. Instead of focusing on being the smartest person in the room or always being right, start focusing on the process of doing the work. Perfection is just a trap. The reality is, you don't need the perfect idea, the perfect conditions, or the perfect moment. What you need is to just start. Even if things feel messy, especially if things feel messy. Here's a game changer. Build systems that help you get things done. Instead of relying on your mental sharpness to power through, create structures that make the work easier. For example, break your task down into small, manageable steps. This way, you're not overwhelmed by the enormity of the project. Set a timer for 25 minutes of focused work, and then take a 5-minute break. Just keep repeating that cycle. That's it. It's simple, but effective. The key is consistency, not perfection. Think about something like writing a paper. We've all been there, right? You sit down thinking you need to write the whole thing at once, but that only adds to the pressure. Instead, try breaking it into sections. First, focus on the intro, then tackle the body, and finally, write the conclusion. Focus on one part at a time. Don't even think about the entire paper. And here's the most important part. It's not about being brilliant. It's about being consistent. It's about those small wins you get each time you check off a section, a task, or a goal. Don't wait for the big breakthrough moment. The progress happens in the small, consistent steps. That's where real growth is built. Now, let's talk about overthinking because, let's face it, intelligent people especially are experts at it. We've all been there, right? You start thinking through every angle, every possibility, every possible outcome until your brain just shuts down. Instead of moving forward and getting the work done, you end up wasting time thinking about how to do it. You analyze it to death and, ironically, end up stuck in the exact place you started. And here's the thing. This is where the cycle begins. Overthink to avoid to feel bad to overthink some more. Sound familiar? I'm willing to bet you've been in that loop a time or two. Every time you don't follow through, it chips away at your confidence a little more, making the next task even harder. The fear of failure, the pressure to be perfect, it all builds up, and it just gets more difficult to take action. The next time you face a challenge, that inner voice creeps in again, and you start overthinking all over again. But here's the shift you need. It's not about getting everything perfect or being the smartest one in the room. It's about moving from a mindset of thinking to one of doing. You've got to get comfortable with the idea that action is where the magic happens. Perfection won't get you there. Overthinking won't get you there. What will get you there is actually starting, even if it's messy, even if it's imperfect. The key is in taking that first step and then building momentum from there. All right, let's break the cycle. It's time to take action, and here's how you can do it. Tip 1. Start small and build momentum. Start small. I know it's tempting to dive into something big, but trust me, it's better to begin with small actions that lead to bigger things. If you're feeling overwhelmed, like with school or a project, start with just 10 minutes of focused work. No distractions. Set a timer, dive in, and you'll be surprised how momentum builds after just a few minutes. Once you get started, it becomes easier to keep going. Tip 2. Embrace imperfection. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be consistent. Done is always better than perfect. Whenever that urge to procrastinate hits or you start worrying about getting everything just right, remind yourself, done is better than perfect. Perfection only holds you back, but progress keeps you moving forward. Tip 3. Create simple systems. Like I said earlier, create systems to make the process easier. Instead of relying on willpower alone to get things done, break down tasks into manageable steps. Use tools like timers or simple to-do lists. The idea is to remove friction and make starting feel effortless. The simpler your system, the easier it is to take action without hesitation. So here's the truth. Intelligence is awesome, but it's not a free pass to success. Consistency is what separates those who achieve their goals from those who just think about them. You've got the potential. Now let's focus on executing. So tonight, before you go to bed, set a small goal for tomorrow, one that you know you can accomplish. Start with 10 minutes of focused work, and let's level up together. If you're ready to stop overthinking and start executing, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on more content to help you break through your mental blocks. You've got this.